On the cruise, you talked about source doesn't see, it doesn't have taste, touch, or sight, it feels. And that was really a mind-blowing thing for me because I always felt like people were watching me and I never understood that they were really only feeling me. And it actually was a really cool moment because I realized for the first time that...
Before you go further, we want to stick something in because it might change the direction of your question, your really good question. We just want to throw this in for you. We have said that, we do say that, and we do mean that. It is how it is. That it is your physical apparatus that has the translators of the vibration that gives you taste and touch and sight and sound and so forth. So without that physical apparatus, then those experiences are different from non-physical. But the satisfaction that you feel when you taste something that you like is felt by us.
Yes, that's the part I got for the first time.
So you could say that if it tastes good to you, it tastes even better to us. But it's not because of what's going on the tongue. It's a vibrational satisfaction that is deeper and richer than anything that your physical senses give you.
Yeah, and for the first time I realized it doesn't matter what we do, it matters how we feel about what we do. And that's how that came together for me for the first time.
And now, when you get out ahead of it by segment intending before you get there, can you understand the exponential ramifications of that? When you get some momentum going before you even get into that segment, when you get yourself tuned in and in the state of satisfaction before you meet up with that segment, we want to introduce this. We haven't talked about it here, and then we want to hear you completely. It applies completely to where you're going. As we said earlier, we've been talking about segment intending right from the beginning with Jerry and Esther. And Esther had an impression that what segment intending meant was, I'm going to get in my car and I'm going to intend safety to the next place. And I'm going to get in my car and I'm going to intend open traffic, things like that, which we were in agreement with. That wasn't something that we weren't encouraging her to think. But her impression still was, I'm going to hook into the source energy and then I'm going to blast it into my future segment and I'm going to get it ready for me. I'm going to change it so that when I get there, I'll like it. And not only will it change for me, it'll change for anybody else that goes anywhere I go. I'm fixing that segment. You all come along. I've cleared the way. That's kind of the way Esther was looking at it. Now she understands that what she's doing as she's segment intending, she's identifying and isolating and calibrating to this vibration of utter well-being. And sometimes she calls it clarity and love and fun. So she's accomplishing that in her being, and then she's walking that being into a segment where she will attract those things from that segment. She's not changing the segment, she's changed herself, because it's attraction, attraction, attraction. So ornery people aren't going to come to her, and people that are reckless drivers aren't going to come to her. What's a vibrational match to what she has identified? And like our friend helped us to clarify earlier, she doesn't just believe it, she knows it. She knows it. She's done it, she knows it, she feels it, she goes, and this segment is so sweet to her, and this segment is so sweet to her, and this segment is so rich. You see what we're getting at? And so
for that first time, I realized that the action isn't the important part, it's the feeling. And then you talked about, don't do anything that you don't think is appropriate. And I thought, oh, that seems judgmental. But then I realized, again, it's not a matter of whether somebody else thinks it's appropriate. The appropriateness of it is only important because it is how you feel about it, again.
Yeah, you'll split your energy. Here's the statement that's a really easy one to get hold of, that is so easy to apply. Make a decision and line up with it. Make a decision and line up with it. Today we would say make a decision and segment intend it into place. Make a decision and then don't talk smack about it. Make a decision and line up with it. So there's a family reunion and you don't really want to go, but you feel like you should because your mother's going to be really mad at you if you don't show up. Make a decision and line up with it. So if you decide you're going to go, doesn't matter if you go or don't go, but if you decide to go, then make a list of all the reasons you're going. Don't go to please someone else. Satisfaction comes from one place and one place only: making a decision and lining up with it and moving in the direction of that decision. So don't do something because somebody else wants you to do it. You're just going through the motions and offering lip service, and it won't be fun for them either, or for you. But if you say, I'm going, and I'm going to like going, and I'm going to think about it until I find that vibrational resonance with it, and then you've lined up with it, now you're taking yourself into this environment, a new you, into this environment where you're going to have a whole series of experiences like you've never had before. It's going to be a very unusual family reunion, because they are going to find a person that they have not met before. And they're not going to be able to talk you back into your insecurities that you had since you got stuck in that little chair when you were 4 or whatever.
How does Source feel about budgets? I've never done budgets. I've always thought, who needs a budget? I'll just make more money. But sometimes when that's not going so good.
We touched on this earlier. So there's the subject, like budget, and then there's the emotion around it. And so am I under the influence of Source, or am I under the influence of something else? So a budget sort of smacks of limitation. It also smacks of responsibility. It also smacks of shortage consciousness, but it doesn't have to. Let's go back to the conversation about make a decision and line up with it. If you have a belief that you want to be fiscally responsible, and it feels like you're getting out of balance, and so you feel discord about it, you have to do something to allow that discord to go away. Now, some would say, just don't think about it anymore. Just spend as you want to and don't think about it. But the thing is, it's going to keep coming back and coming back and coming back. So you've got to find some way of lining up with it. So if you say to yourself, resources are unlimited, and there's a lot in my vortex, and I'm on the brink of so much coming in, and I'm really not worried about this, and you're really not. So it feels good to you to make this purchase or this decision about something. Then you're in alignment, and that money will come. The money will follow your emotion. It will. But if you feel guarded and protective and worried about it, and so the rule of thumb that we would follow if we were standing in your physical shoes is, if you can bring yourself into vibrational alignment through thoughts, then do it. If you can't bring yourself into alignment through thoughts, then don't. It's usually better. Your budget is 2 things. Your budget is what you're letting in and what's flowing out. So there are 2 ways to balance your budget: bring more in or let less flow out. We're not big proponents of restricting yourself, because when you restrict yourself, you tighten up, you get into that shortage consciousness, and then while you may be controlling your budget by not spending more, you also stifle what's coming in with that feeling. So we would rather you let it flow out, knowing that it's coming in, that you stifle what's coming in by letting nothing flow out. Does that make sense?
How much can you let flow out? I mean, it's a real question. Like when you own a business and you have a family and you want to go and have fun, and
you have to find your own balance, but there really are no limits to that. One day we were visiting with a woman, and she was upset because her now husband had been married before, and so his income was going to 2 families, their current family and his previous family. And she complained every time he makes more money, she goes to the court and petitions for a larger share. And so it feels to him like he can never get ahead. What do you suggest? And we said, we wish he had 10 ex-wives. She was shocked. What? We said, well, we understand how money flows. His first family is calling money through him, and your family is calling money through him. And so if there were 10 families calling money through him, there'd be 10 times the money flowing through him, and you're only giving half of it away.
Is it?
Did you get that? But you see, most people don't understand. You were talking about do you need to limit what goes out? And we're saying there's no limit to what's coming in. And so often what you're letting in is limited by what you think you can let out.
So as long as you feel good about whatever you're spending it on,
That's the key. That's the key.
So you should have the knowing that more will come as long as you feel good about what went out.
Yes, that's well said, and it's accurate. Also, you could do this in a pre-paving way or a getting out ahead of it way by acknowledging how prosperous you feel, by feeling your prosperity even before you have the justification for it by your bank balance. As you feel your prosperity, it's our promise to you that there will be all kinds of ways that it will come into your experience, and you might feel better if it comes before you spend it. But we have to say to you, the biggest and the most productive of financial organizations in your world have huge debt. Mm-hmm. Because there's no such thing as money. It's only energy anyway. It's energy. But you've got to decide, how are you doing with the energy? How are you doing with it? We would be, rather than so fiscally responsible, would be emotionally responsible. How you doing? I feel great. How much money you got? Irrelevant. It'll work out for you if you really hear this. It's energy. It's energy. It's energy, and it's boundless. The energy expands to match the desires. Humans think in a very finite way instead of an infinite way. They think there's this pie, and it's this big, and that if I get this much of it and you get this much of it, pretty soon the pie will be all done. And if you take a lot, then you're depriving a whole bunch of others. They don't understand that the pie expands to equal the desire of those summoning. So collectively, you have created an unspeakable, abundant pie. And then you complain when just a few get what feels like way more than their fair share, because they're used to getting it. They're in a place of expecting it to come. It's easy for you to expect something and then those that are complaining about somebody else getting too much of the pie hold themselves in deprivation, where no matter how big the pie gets, they're never going to get any because they're so mad at those who are getting it.
When you think about money and how it equates to other things, what are some of those connections, like stability? How would you define stability?
Well, this is the reason that we've been talking to you today and every day about, in this segment intending process, look for the emotion. I feel really good about this, and I like this very much, and I enjoy this, as you use emotional terms, because the way you feel is the indicator of what you've got going on vibrationally, and what you've got going on vibrationally does equal your point of attraction. We really like your question, and we're so happy that we can end on this conversation. So let's say that you have decided to sit and contemplate money, but you have some belief systems about money, let's say, because maybe a big stack of bills is sitting there, and maybe you just changed jobs, whatever, and maybe you're not in a position where you can pay those bills right now. So even though you want to achieve clarity and alignment on the subject of money, the reality is sort of hitting you right in the face, and so it's a harder subject to start on. But you could start on a subject like clarity, because clarity and confusion feel free to you. You could choose clarity or you could choose confusion. Can't choose a Ferrari or not a Ferrari, but clarity feels like something that you have instant access to, and you do. Well, as you begin showing yourself, just segment intending will start giving you, within a week of doing it, you'll start having such clarity in so many moments of your experience that you will begin to feel invincible. It will be like the whole world is at your beck and call. We are not kidding you, not even a little bit. So as you begin to do that, as you feel the power of your ability to accomplish clarity, you'll begin to feel your ability to accomplish anything. When you show yourself that you can love anyway, even when there's something hateful going on, you can still love anyway. When you show yourself that you have the power to focus yourself into clarity over confusion and love over hate, then you will have the knowing that you can focus yourself in abundance over lack of abundance, because it's all only energy. And your inner being's already got it all going on, you see. All that money is, We've been talking all day about thoughts turning to things, thoughts turning to things, thoughts turning to things. All that money is things that thoughts have turned to.